Chaos to cohesion, Eurydice Stanley.
Chaos theory suggests that a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can cause a whirlwind tornado in Texas. Do you believe chaos theory to be true? I'd like to talk to you about that today. And I'd like for you to think within your own lives, what flapping, small movement of wind are you impacting in your own life that may create a tornado in someone else's? I am a colonel in the Army, and I used to live in a town called Sycamore, Georgia. I had briefly gotten out of the Army, and I was working as a distribution manager for a major organization in Tifton, Georgia. I was out walking one day, preparing for a PT test, staying fit, staying alert, staying alive, walking past a cotton field and thanking God that I was not out there picking cotton as many of my forefathers and foremothers had not too long ago. As I walked, a deputy sheriff came up to me and said I met the description of a 13-year-old runaway. I was 33 at the time. He said, "Get in the car, I'm taking you in." I said, "Excuse me, I haven't done anything wrong." He said, "There is a runaway and you are the major suspect." How did I go from being the runaway to doing something to cause this runaway to be missing? And I want you to envision the butterfly wind on his side and the tornado that was going on in my life at that very moment. Well, I didn't get in the car. I said, "You can come with me to my home. My husband is there. My ID is there." And he had his deputy sheriff come up behind me and tackle me to the ground. And as I looked up at his face, I've never seen such hatred. Butterfly wind, tornado. It took 5 years, but we brought that deputy to justice. And where does all of this stem from? Well, Abraham Maslow has what he calls a hierarchy of needs. And we're all looking for the base needs of safety. But as you go up his model, our goal as human beings need to be reaching what is known as self-actualization. That's where you'll find the Albert Einsteins of the world who are focused on trying to do something better for the entire world. The Mother Teresa's, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s. And I ask you, are you doing what you need to achieve that level? Where is your wind? Where is your whirlwind? As we strive to become better people, we have to ask ourselves, how do we influence one another? And think about significant events that have happened just this year. 2013, the inauguration, the second inauguration of the first African-American president in the United States. Regardless of your political viewings, it's a pretty significant event, a very significant event. And this year, it took place on the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., when we celebrate the efforts of Dr. King. And also, we had a significant event in that it's the 150th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation and the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. All of these events coming together at one question being, what are we doing personally? What are we doing to move from our basic level of personal safety to move up Maslow's hierarchy to self-actualization? The question remains, are you going to be a positive movement leading to a positive whirlwind? Think about what led to our equality in this United States, in these United States. A nonviolent movement. Have you ever watched video of the nonviolent movement? Have you ever watched people be kicked and hit and screamed at and dogs flailed on them? And this is a nonviolent movement? It's nonviolent because the people accepted it and kept coming and did not stop. And the question being, are you willing to keep going and not stop? John Maxwell said, we have to be able to stand up. We have to be able to rise up. And we have to be willing to speak up. And I ask you today, are you willing? Are you willing when you see that wisp of wind? If it's a negative influence, are you willing to speak up to prevent that negative tornado? Be the positive wind. Be the influence, as Gandhi would say. Be the change that you would hope to see. Dismissed.